hats off to Stephen F. Austin. I thought they came in and executed their game plan and did the things that they wanted to do. They have a very good team, and everybody fills their role, and they relish their roles. And we had some goals that we wanted to try to establish, and we got close, but we didn't get over the hump to do the things that we wanted to do with our goals. And I think that was the difference in the game. You know, they can shoot the three, and they got off 24, and we were trying to limit the number of threes they were able to attempt, which we did a relatively good job of keeping them off the offensive glass. But they got to the free throw line some, and then, you know, we didn't want to turn the basketball over, and we gave up way too many live ball turnovers that they turned into points. So they did the things they had to do to win the game, and we got an education on things that we got to do to be better.
Yeah, and I know first quarter you guys started up it was back and forth, but you guys ended up having the lead after that. But it seemed like the second it kind of got away from you guys a little bit. What was kind of what went wrong in the second quarter, in your opinion, that allowed them to kind of take that lead into halftime?
Well, I thought that we turned it over and they turned it into break points. And then I thought we got down on ourselves a little bit, and we didn't play transition defense as well as we should have. And then, you know, they hit a couple of threes, and you have to be able to weather the storm. They're going to make threes. They got 50% three-point shooters. So you got to be able to weather the storm when they're shooting three or they're hitting threes, and keep playing steady defense and executing your offense. And I thought we kind of got our head down for a minute or two, and, you know, when you do that against a good team, they'll jump on you, and that's what they did in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I know third quarter, you guys kind of had a run at the end that got you closer, but then they were able to knock down a three to kind of stave that off. Was that kind of like a turning point in that way going into the fourth, just them being able to kind of get the momentum back in that way after you guys had gone on that run?
I think any you're talking about the last shot of the quarter.
Yes.
That was off the glass, and you know, there's not much you can do. Play good defense, and you know, some of those go in and sometimes they don't. And yeah, it was a big momentum thing, opportunity for them, but it's not the momentum that they had, it's how we handle it. And if we drop our heads and get down on ourselves because they made a three at the end of the quarter, then we turn around and make a second mistake. And we have a veteran basketball team that learned a lesson about fighting through your mistakes and bouncing back, and we'll be better next time.
Yeah, and I'll start with you on this one, and I'll go to them. But I know you mentioned turnover. It seemed like for a lot of the game they were kind of trying to full court press on you to kind of speed you guys up. What did you see in that regard, and how do you think you kind of able to move past that and do better against that kind of defense going forward if you see it again?
I thought we did an adequate job of handling their press. We did turn the ball over too many times. You have to meet passes, you know, first of all, and we had a couple of turnovers where we didn't meet passes. Then we changed our press offense, so we had a couple of turnovers where we didn't execute, and that's on me. You know, as a coach, I've got to make sure that they are able to change from press break A to press break B and execute it the right way. So we have to do a better job of educating them on what we're looking for in our press offenses, and not getting down when bad things happen. I mean, sometimes you hit somebody in the hands and they just don't catch it, and it happens to pros, so it happens to everybody at one time or another, but you can't get your head down when bad things happen. You got to fight through them.
Yeah, and for either of you guys, what kind of is the challenge of facing a defense like that, especially coming into this game where you haven't seen it too much so far this season?
Yeah, I would just say not letting it speed you up. The goal of a press is trying to get you off your game. We work a lot with our practice players, our guy practice players in practice. They try to speed us up, and we work to find those open looks and not just make errant passes. So I think doing a better job at that in the next one will help us a lot.
Yeah, based on what Paige said, I feel like they speed us up a little bit, but on the other hand, I feel like we're just trying to like find for like the perfect pass, I guess, to, you know, have like a wide open layup or something like that. And I think that's when we kind of like complicated ourselves, and that's when they took advantage of us.
Yeah, and then you kind of mentioned 3-point shooting as well. They were able to get a lot up, and you guys, Timmy had 3, but then everyone else was only 2 combined, and I think 11 shots. So what do you kind of need to see going forward to get better looks for everyone else from 3-point range?
Well, I think everybody on our team has a role, and we have people that can shoot the three. I mean, you give Mireia an open three, she can knock it down. Paige can knock it down. Jada can knock it down, and we just got to do a better job of getting them shots from the positions that they like to shoot from, and not taking off balance threes, and not putting ourselves in situation where we're having to play 4 seconds on the shot clock. And we did that way too much tonight, and a lot of that is attributed to Stephen F. Austin's defense. The way they play defense made us have to get down in the shot clock over and over again. We got to do a better job of going from press offense transition into half court offense transition, and we just we didn't execute that stage of the game very well tonight, and we got to do a better job of that.
Yeah, and obviously this was first conference game for you guys. I know next 3, I believe, are non-conference, but what do you kind of need to see, or what kind of lessons do you need to learn from a game like this going into the rest of conference play against when it starts to matter more like that? Just for any of you guys.
I would just say keep playing through tough times. It wasn't our best showing. We kept showing effort, and those times you just kind of had to stick it out and keep pushing. So.
Yeah, just work on our mistakes again, just the turnovers and finishing up layups. But over those upcoming weeks, I think we can fix that up.
Yeah, and obviously next going on the road to the Invitational in Edinburgh, what are you kind of looking to see out of those 2 games against Kansas City and Eastern Michigan that you can kind of build upon toward those conference games that we mentioned?
Well, I think it's 2 really good teams, and you got to play back to back. It's great dress rehearsal for what you're going to have to do in March when you got to play an opponent one night, turn around and play a different opponent the next night. So it'll be a great opportunity for our team to go do a scout and go play that game, and then flush it, turn around and play again the next night. So it'll be something that'll pay us dividends in March.